the three.
Great look, great look.
Beautifully done.
Welcome to Inside Marquette Basketball. I'm Sophia Minnaert, joined by Marquette head coach Shaka here at the Al McGuire Center. And coach, your team coming off of back-to-back wins, Seton Hall, Villanova at home here over the weekend. And already we're heading into the second half of the Big East schedule. Things are going well for your program so far. You've seen everyone in the conference now except for St. John's. Anything stand out to you so far about conference play, the teams you're seeing, and how your team has played so far?
Well, we're still a work in progress like everyone else. I think the biggest thing for our guys is making sure that we're as present as we can be in the moment, because when you get to this time of year, you've been playing for a while, so the newness of the season, even the newness of the conference season, has worn off a little bit. It can be monotonous, but as I tell the guys, there's a monotony in excellence. If you want to be excellent, you got to be willing to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, really, really well. And so that's kind of where we are, whether it's practice, game days. And the great thing is, for every player on our team and for our team overall, there's still a lot of room for growth.
Well, and growth was something that you said that you were really hammering with your team during this particular stretch of the schedule, and coming after that loss to Xavier here at home. You responded with 2 wins, but why growth at this part of the season, and especially for your young players? Is that so important?
Yeah, it's always growth. It's not just at this time of the season. I know it gets old for everybody, but we value relationships, growth, and victory. That's who we are. So, I think of those 3, growth is the one that can tend to be obscured a little bit when you get to this time of year, because there's such an emphasis on outcomes, victory, or the opposite. The relationship side, we spend so much time together whether we like it or not, but we got to make sure that we've got a close eye on, are we getting better in specific ways as a team, individually? And that's something that our staff is very, very aware of and focused on, and our players too.
Well, after the Xavier game, you go on the road, you respond with a big win against Seton Hall. Cam Jones looked like himself again. He looked like he was in rhythm, put up 19 points. What did you like about how your team bounced back after that home loss?
Well, I liked our road approach. Going on the road in this league is never easy, and you're going to deal with different challenges that you might not see at home. You got a team on their home floor that's hungry to beat you. I think because of what our guys have created here with our program, people really want to beat us. They look at that game as something that can be, a quote-unquote signature win, a resume builder. But our response to that is, we want to win just as bad, if not more. And I thought our guys had really good connectivity up there at Seton Hall.
And what about the defense? 53 deflections, another game for you where you're in your top 10 number, which is something that you've really challenged your players with that number.
Guys did a great job, and I think it's the first time we've ever had 3 players in double-figure deflections with Stevie, Chase, and Cam. And that's just an indication of their commitment and overall our team's commitment. We went back and checked what's the most number of stops we'd had in a game, and we wanted to go after that at Seton Hall. We came up short because we did not defend as well in the last 6-8 minutes. But, we were close, and we had that high deflection number, and that allowed us to win the game.
Well, you guys are 4-0 on the road now. How do you think that, and you spoke after that game about how you make a team feel in their own building. And you guys are giving your opponents a really tough time when you're on the road.
Well, we have to, because the alternative is if they feel really good about themselves, it's not going to be a good night for you. There's a lot that goes into that, starting with our connectivity and the effort that we put forth on the floor, the 5 guys on the court communicating at a high level. And you can't really ease your way into that in the game. You've got to start the game with a high level of focus on taking away the things from the other team that they want to do.
Well, you come back home, a win over Villanova here. That's a team that you guys have had great success against. Stevie Mitchell leveled up against Villanova like he always does, tied a career high, 21 points. What stood out to you about the effort against Villanova, and obviously Eric Dixon, the nation's leading scorer?
Yeah, not just Dixon. They've got a hard team to defend. They're one of the top 10 offensive teams in the country if you go by the numbers. And obviously Dixon's a huge part of that. He's hard to deal with. He's so strong. He's in his 6th year playing college basketball. So He, it's very hard to defend when he goes to the basket, and then came into the game shooting, I believe, 47% from three. So a real challenge. It ended up being one of their other guys, Longino, that had the best game for them. I think he had 27 points. So they were tough to deal with, but our guys did a great job. I thought it was one of our better games offensively in terms of the speed and pace with which we played. And that's something that we consistently hammer home. But again, it's an area where I think we can keep getting better.
Yeah, you had 4 players in double figures, very balanced offensively, including Royce Parham contributing 10 points off the bench. That was a really solid effort from him, and I know you spoke about that after the game.
He's getting better and better. Yeah, he's really got a bright future, and he's kind of the opposite of Dixon from the standpoint of Dixon's been doing it for 6 years. Royce turned 18 in late July. He's just kind of getting going. But as his body continues to grow and mature, and his mind continues to, understand all the nuances of this level, he's got unbelievable instincts. I think he's really an offensive savant in a lot of ways, a la Cam. Obviously a completely different game and position, but he's going to score a lot of points here.
You've spoken about how much you've pushed David Joplin, right? Because you're trying to get the most out of him. And you said, I couldn't sub him out because of his effort defensively against Dixon and just what he was doing with his presence on the floor. And you said it was an absolute win to hold Dixon to 18 points.
Yeah, and he got, I think, 8 of those points very late in the game. So Jop was the only guy that, we really felt comfortable defending Dixon. I think we probably could have had Chase guard him because Chase can guard anyone on the planet. But we needed Chase, on other guys. And, physically, Dixon's so much bigger than Chase. But I thought Jop did a terrific job, and that's why he played all 20 minutes of the second half.
Well, it was a great win and a great moment as you guys honored President Lovell as well with the gold out, another sold out game for your crowd. And it was special to celebrate Dr.
Absolutely.
Lovell and his legacy at that game.
Yeah, he's the absolute best. I can't believe that he's not here. It's just sometimes you get reminded of that, and there's moments of sadness. But at the same time, when we have images of him, down in the weight room, and think about him every day when I'm in our coach's locker room because his old locker was down there. You think about what he did to inspire people, and it makes you want to be better. He was one of those guys that he was kind of superhuman, with his everything that he did and the way he affected people. And so, he'll continue to be an inspiration for us.
A special moment for sure to honor Dr. Lovell and his legacy. We've got more to talk about with Coach Smart here on Inside Marquette Basketball.
We got big plans, right? Yes, sir. So going after it with everything we have in the next few days after this off day, man, that pushes us towards what we want to go do. So be greedy with that, please. Everybody in. Yes, sir.
No finish line on 3. 1, 2, 3. No finish line.
Shaka Smart's interview is presented by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, the official banking partner of Marquette University.
Not your bank's top priority? Here at Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. No hidden fees or runarounds, but a true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. Whether you're opening your first account, found your dream home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have the financial solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank. Wintrust, different approach, better results.
After a serious injury, you'll need an experienced team on your side. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Marquette Athletics. One call, that's all.
This is me at my strongest.
This is me at my fastest.
This is me at my happiest.
This is me at my bravest.
This is me at my healthiest.
With Aurora Healthcare on your team, you can achieve your personal best and live life to the fullest.
Achieving my dreams means setting boundaries with alcohol and other drugs. In the classroom, I am focused and keep distractions to a minimum. I need to balance my studies, basketball, friends, and healthy choices. During training, I'm giving every ounce of energy I have. Sometimes winning means not taking every shot I'm given. Join me in Rise Drug Free MKE and let's achieve our dreams.
I mean, I like playing against everybody in the Big East. I think, we play against them, some familiar faces on their team that, I know, have respect for. So it's always fun, to go against people you have respect for, people you knew before you got to college. All my friends grew up Villanova fans. It's just always fun.
Royce, you're another proud PA guy. I know Pittsburgh's a different part of the state, but how much did you follow Villanova growing up?
I mean, I've been watching Eric Dickerson play since a long time, so it's just like a great feeling to play against him and just really know that I'm able to play against these guys and compete with them at the highest level.
Coach, we just heard from Stevie Mitchell and Royce Parham after the Villanova game, and you spoke about Royce, and you're challenging all of your bench players of it's about growing up, right, and taking that next step into college basketball, into Big East basketball, and Royce for sure, you said he might be the second most talented offensive player already on this team. I mean, just the growth that he has shown and will hopefully continue to show here the rest of the way.
He definitely will, and his best basketball is ahead of him. He came in as a younger freshman. Physically, he had a lot of growth to make. He's done a really good job with Todd Smith down in our weight room, and I think the next offseason will be a huge one for him to really become stronger, tougher. But you know what? I told Royce, and I tell freshmen this time of year, let's not focus on next year. And he's not, but because there's a tendency when you have a really promising young player like Royce Demarius, you say, wow, man, next year he's going to be this. And they think that as well, especially when they're, maybe not consistently kicking butt out there. And so it's like, no, what can we do today? How can I impact my team today? And how can I, when the game starts, play as well as I can, knowing that I'm a freshman playing against older guys? And I thought Royce did a terrific job of that, obviously against Villanova. Demarius has had some phenomenal moments, so we just got to keep growing those guys.
Well, there are a couple players that are really making their mark defensively, and we heard from Stevie Mitchell, and it was a great offensive game for him against Villanova, but what he's doing for your team defensively, I mean, in terms of the steals, the deflections, you speak about him all the time, just the winning plays that he makes. I mean, he has to be up there, right, as a Big East Defensive Player of the Year. He's got to be in that conversation, right?
I would say I would vote for him for sure, but I'm not allowed to vote for our players when that time comes. I think that he's been one of the best defensive players in the Big East for a few years now. Those awards are interesting because sometimes they're based on statistics, and you can't really measure what Stevie does or Chase on the defensive end in statistics. Obviously, they do a good job getting their hands on the ball, deflections, steals, but there's just so much more to them than that. Their physicality, their multiple efforts, Stevie's ability to be literally all over the floor. I mean, there's been several plays over the course of his career where he's guarded literally 4 or 5 guys on the other team in one possession, and I just haven't really seen that before. I think there's a real appreciation on the part of opposing coaches for him. Does that mean they'll vote for him for Defensive Player of the Year? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, I appreciate him. And, between him and Chase, they give us a chance if the other 3 guys on the court can try to approximate their level to be a terrific defensive team.
Well, and Ben Gold over the last couple weeks has really, just solidified himself as well, too. He had a great defensive game, 13 rebounds, I believe, against Xavier, and then 9 against Villanova. And it just seems like, it's hard to fill in for Oso Ighodaro, right? Having played behind Oso last year, and now what a huge step for him to step into the starting lineup. He can't be Oso, right? But he's making his mark.
Yeah, and we made it clear to him right away, you don't need to be Oso. You're a different player, different game. You are in that position for us, and it's awesome. That's what you want. If you're a guy your freshman year, your sophomore year that comes off the bench, that, helps the team, but, is in more of a support role. You want to, assume a starting role, but you got to go earn it. And Ben's done that. He's been terrific. I'm really proud of his progression because going into the year, he was somewhat nervous. Can I really do this? He's got such a humility about him. He's one of the few people I've ever met in my life that might have too much humility. But he had some real questions, and he's answered those. He's had a very workmanlike season. He's hit some big shots, which we know he can do. But the other teams are really doing a good job making sure that they put guys on him that don't give him as many threes. And so you see in a lot of these games, he's not even defended by the big guy. They'll put a perimeter player on him because they know that he does a lot of his damage from outside.
We got some great news. Cam Jones named Big East Player of the Week for the third time this season. Cam just continues to do his thing, leading this group offensively and on both sides of the floor.
He is, and just like everyone else, Job, Stevie, Chase, there's more there for him, and he can continue to get better. I thought in the Villanova game he played with better force than in some of our other recent games. That's what he has to do. There's a tendency sometimes in the way that people defend a lot of our actions as they switch to kind of probe and, check and see, well, can I do this or do I have this angle? The flip side of that is just attacking, downhill, drawing fouls. We really need him to get to the foul line. It's big for our team. He was part of our team getting to the line a ton in the second half. And, that was a good sign, the aggressiveness that he showed in that game.
Inside Marquette Basketball is brought to you by Aurora Healthcare, helping you to live fully.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
This is me at my strongest.
This is me at my fastest.
This is me at my happiest.
This is me at my bravest.
This is me at my healthiest.
With Aurora Healthcare on your team, you can achieve your personal best and live life to the fullest.
Hey, grab me one too.
Fans, give it up, make some noise as we welcome back your 1993-94 Sweet 16 team.
I know these guys are all excited. We haven't seen each other, some of us, in 30 years. It's great for everybody to come back and spend some time with each other.
This is great seeing these guys, man. Just talking about where they're at, having kids, that's the exciting part. And then seeing KO getting older and seem like he should be winding down, but he's the same old KO.
I want to say this about you guys. Greatest group of men and women ever. I was spoiled because that was my first job. I was a lunatic, I know it, but you guys met every challenge. You responded to everything I did. Whatever other teams brought you guys, you were up for it. And that was so great to see. I can say this about our team. I never ever had any doubt when we hit the court that we were going to be ready to play. And that was practice, games, everything. You guys brought it every day. Now I realize most of it was out of a united hate for me, which I totally understand and I'm totally cool with. I didn't care why we did it, I just cared we did it.
We brought Marquette back. My class with Rob Lagerman, Jim, I didn't realize that they didn't go to the tournament for a long time.
I remember the first time we got to the NCAA tournament, coming through the tunnel and the feeling that was for what you guys had accomplished. I mean, we took this from 3 wins to big time basketball. Sweet 16 It took 17 years to get to the Sweet 16 after the Final Four. So what you guys did was absolutely phenomenal.
It's great. I'm so thankful to Marquette and Coach Smart and Scott Kuykendall, Mike Broker, and the whole athletic department that they were nice enough to do this for us.
I really love these guys, and I thank them for being good teammates.
Give it up one more time for your 1993-94 Marquette basketball Sweet 16 team. Welcome back home. Thanks for all the great memories.
Coach, it was great to see the 1993-94 team return with former head coach Kevin O'Neill, who you have spoken about before, and just honoring those teams. And it was really a team that put Marquette basketball on the map, the first team to make it to the Sweet 16 representing Marquette.
Well, it was great being around those guys. I was able to go to the reception Friday evening and spend time around those guys, the players, Coach O'Neill, some of the players' families. The first thing I was struck by being in a room with all of them was, man, this was a really good team from a talent standpoint. I mean, when you add up Jim McIlvaine and Tony Miller and Amal McCaskill, you know, you go down the list, Damon Key. I mean, there were some really, really good players, Chris Crawford on that group. Then, you know, I've eventually worked my way across the room to KO, you know, Coach O'Neill. And, you know, I've kind of known about him for a long, long time. I've met him a few times, but I really enjoyed getting a chance to spend some time talking to him about Marquette, what makes this place special, about that team, the run that they went on. And he's certainly got a wealth of wisdom and also, you know, just a colorful speaker.
Very colorful indeed. It was great to see Coach O'Neill and that 93-94 team here back and their accomplishments celebrated at home here against Xavier. Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
After a serious injury, you'll need an experienced team on your side. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of Marquette Athletics. One call, that's all.
Golden Eagles fans, open a Marquette checking account with Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank today and score golden perks like a $50 opening bonus, free ATMs nationwide, and your very own exclusive MU Golden Eagles debit card. Rep the blue and gold at home or on the road. And don't miss this golden opportunity to let everyone know. Scan now to open your account today. Wintrust Wisconsin's Bank, proud to be the official bank of Marquette University.
This is me at my strongest.
This is me at my fastest.
This is me at my happiest.
This is me at my bravest.
This is me at my healthiest.
With Aurora Healthcare on your team, you can achieve your personal best and live life to the fullest.
Inside Marquette Basketball is presented by Pepsi. Thirsty for more.
Coach Smart develops a theme for every game for our guys. And it's just a way to capture for them the mindset for what's necessary for us to achieve what we're trying to achieve in the game. And so for me, in that spirit, today's just about deep gratitude. Deep gratitude.
Back at the Al McGuire Center, inside Marquette Basketball with head coach Shaka Smart. And Coach, your program has 2 wins now, getting ready for another big week as you play Butler and then return home here against UConn. And there's also been some big news here with Marquette Athletics as longtime athletic director Bill Scholl is retiring, and the announcement of Mike Broker being promoted to athletic director. He's been with Marquette here a long time. But first, to acknowledge Bill Scholl and the leadership that he's given Marquette and your time working with him here the last 4 years.
He's been terrific. We talked about Dr. Lovell earlier in the show. Those two together, because when you're a basketball coach, you work for the president and the AD. Those are your 2 bosses. And that 1-2 punch, the best I've ever been around. The genuine care, the genuine empathy, understanding of what coaches and athletes and teams go through over the course of their season. You know, Bill's partnership is probably one of the best things I can say is he truly, You know, he's in the foxhole with you. Never made it about him. Bill and Julie, just a genuine care for everyone here at Marquette. I know it's hard for him to leave because of the way he feels about this place, but he feels even more strongly about his grandchildren. So he certainly deserves to go spend much more time with them and around them. The way that he's impacted this place in the last 10 plus years has been significant. We'll miss him a lot. You know, his steadying presence, his kindness. Man, for me, you know, the last 4 years, just the way how supportive he's been. We've always been on the same page. I mean, always, which is rare. And, you know, I'll miss him a lot.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who cares more about Marquette athletics, all of its programs, than Bill Scholl. He's at everything. He supports everyone. Certainly he'll be missed in his time.
And I'll say this, and you've heard me say this about a couple of our players and a couple guys on our staff. Bill falls under the category of, if you don't like Bill, then there's something wrong with you, because he's just that warm of a person. And, you know, truly grateful for everything that he did here before we got here and in the 4 years that we've been here.
That is so true. And after the Butler game, you guys will be returning home. It's one of the most exciting games of the season. It's one that fans and alumni look forward to. It's National Marquette Day coming up this weekend. Expecting another sold-out crowd. It's always a great environment, and just the response that you get, the energy that you get.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because there's such a build-up on that day and to that day, and it's always a night game. The biggest key for our guys actually is just kind of being present and relaxing a little bit and not getting like too, I guess they say, you know, keyed up. Being ourselves, following our process. You know, the last few years in that game, we've started the game almost like a little bit tight. We need to let our hair down and go play basketball because, you know, it's just like any other game. The things that go into winning do not change. They're just, you know, an added level of excitement. Obviously around here, it's a big deal for Marquette folks. We're grateful because it obviously brings a phenomenal crowd and great energy.
Should be a lot of fun when the team returns home. National Marquette Day, playing UConn, pairing it with homecoming as well. So it should be a lot of Marquette alums and fans here at Pfizer Forum for that one. Thanks, Coach, for your time. That's a wrap on Inside Marquette Basketball with Shaka Smart.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,